something last night in Drake Maye.
Hey.
A little bit.
Hey.
Little Josh Allen flip into the end zone. Hey. A nice incompletion.
It may be.
Oh, there you go, Greg. He doesn't like puns.
No
man.
puns.
You ruined it.
No puns. I know it's Friday, but no puns. Are we doing Monday morning headlines?
No, we're not. Is the show's first things first?
Thank
Wilds
goodness.
forgot that.
Today, have the Eagles shaken their supernatural funk? Dusty, do we have the funk guitar?
No.
God, is anyone working today? Josh is leaving in 20 minutes. Greg tried to leave mid-show. Meanwhile, Justin Herbert, off of Hobble Watch, is he headed back to Elite Watch? What? And finally, new list alert.
There we go.
We really broke out the creative juices for this one. Top 10 players in the NFL. Wow.
Well, let me go ahead. Finish your little silliness. And then
Top 10 players of the NFL.
No.
Alongside Greg Jennings. Chris Broussard's still in Bali. Should be on your bucket list, he said. Start saving now. I can go over 60.
I'm
Nick
looking
Wright.
forward to this list.
Yeah, well, listen,
Top 10.
this was the impetus of List Week was how bad the top 10 of the top 100 was.
Bookend it.
And so now I am showing what that top 10 should have been.
Gotcha.
And then we'll put them side by
Has
side.
list week been a
Rousing success.
Rousing?
Oh, are you not getting the ratings text? Because I am. Oh, yeah.
So that weird and wonderful rating. That Juan Soto conversation took off. In any event, we start with Drake's day. Drake Maye played a good chunk of the Patriots preseason game, showed some flashes, going 6 for 11 and rushing for a touchdown. Veteran Jacoby Brissett, not great. Here's Gerard Mayo on if Maye should start.
We always talk about competition, and that's at all spots. So even if Drake, beats out Jacoby, I mean, he earned that role, and we don't really take that into consideration when he's ready to go. And if he's better than Jacoby, then he'll play, he'll start.
Yeah, pretty simple. Should Drake Maye start week 1?
Well, listen, the argument against him starting week 1 is actually a long-winded indictment of the end of the Belichick era. Because the argument against him starting week 1, I think, for most is, oh, man, that offensive line is in such rough shape. Is he going to get beat up? I don't agree with Gerard Mayo that when you draft a quarterback in the top 5, the calculus is purely, is he better than our incumbent veteran backup by week 1? I'll give you a for instance. I do not think Sam Darnold is a good NFL starting quarterback, and I really liked very limited what I saw from J.J. McCarthy in week 1 of the preseason.
Yeah.
I would have bet Darnold would be better than J.J. on September 8th.
Yeah.
But I still would have said start J.J. Like, get him those reps, get him that experience. Because Kevin Clark made this point, and I think he's right. The NFL has changed a lot. And you don't have as long of training camp. You don't have two-a-days. You don't have as many padded practices. The best time a young player has to improve is in the games, because they are not going to be able to improve in practice and in the offseason as much as guys could previously. And so you said the word twice in your lead. What I wanted to see was flashes, and I saw them. Like you saw why some people were so enamored with this kid's talent. I'm going to show you 2 incompletions.
I'll take them, though.
That honest to God, Greg, I'm curious your thoughts on it, but I thought these were 2 of the more impressive throws we've seen from any of the rookies, non-Caleb category. I think we can show them. Maybe we can. Here's one. It's down the sideline. This would be a tough catch, I understand. That's a perfect ball. That's a perfect ball. And you can see it again from this angle. I mean, you should make that catch, or at least catch it even if you don't get your feet in bounds. And then the one that everyone is showing later in the game, man, I don't know if Mac Jones could throw it this far on 2 attempts.
He can.
And right. I mean, steps up in the pocket. Yeah, exactly. And again, I mean, that's a drop. It would have been a good catch. So to me, Greg, he is going to end up being the starter. I have a date we can discuss later about when I think he'll be. I don't care so much if he starts week 1 or not. I'm very confident he's going to be starting before Halloween.
Yeah, man. Yesterday, I was sitting right here in this seat, and you guys know how I feel about rookie quarterbacks. If you have a bridge guy, play that guy.
Yep.
After watching last night, nope.
Oh.
Played that guy.
Oh.
Look.
At all because Jacoby struggled a little bit?
And there's always been one caveat for me. if the rookie coming in is just hands down better and it just jumps off the tape, then you got to go with that. Because when we looked at that game and you watched, and you're a Pats fan.
Cogent analysis, but coincidentally, yes.
That gives cogent analysis.
Yeah.
But you watch this team, when you watch them with Jacoby Brissett, they're so predictable. There's nothing that he's going to do that's going to provide that team with a spark or ad libs, as we like to look at it, off script plays. He doesn't do any of that. You better have solid protection, because he's going to stay in the pocket. He's going to step up in the pocket. He's not going to get outside the pocket and do any damage that way. And you better be able to run the ball. Those are your options with Jacoby Brissett.
I also don't think he's going to fumble a snap from the center.
To coach's point that he made yesterday, and I give him all the credit, he said no quarterback center exchanges, and we saw that. But what we also saw was what Nick's talking about, those flashes. You got to show why a team decided to draft you at this position in the draft, and he did that. I'm talking about with receivers that we all witnessed create the least amount of separation I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm talking getting jammed to the sideline, and it's like, okay, if you're gonna make me throw it over there, I'll throw it over there, and I'll put it in a tight window. We saw Jacoby try to do it. It didn't work. We saw Drake Maye try to do it, and it actually worked. The guys just didn't catch the balls. So, for me, and the offense just moved.
Yeah.
When you look at the mistake that Jacoby made, I don't mean to belabor this, but second drive, you drive all the way down. The expectation of a veteran guy, if you're to bridge him, is to, when you have points on the board, you take points. You can't erase points off the board. Jacoby erased points. And if there was a guy to make that mistake standing on that sideline or on that bench, you don't expect it to be Jacoby. You don't expect it to be, you expect it to be Drake Maye or whoever else is under center, not your veteran guy that you're potentially hoping to start and give this guy an opportunity to sit back and learn from. So he looked better. The offense looked better. I like him.
You guys are into it.
Well, go ahead.
Well, two things. One, I thought it was interesting that Jacoby got so frustrated with the pick. He went to the sidelines. I'm like, man, he's really upset. It made me think maybe his job's a little bit more in jeopardy than I originally thought. But I have decided, and if it turns out the other way, I will take. Don't look at my notes.
I'm curious.
You're spying.
I'm curious
It's basically
if it's the
cheating
same
off someone's
date.
paper.
No, I don't.
You're basically cheating off my. And then I'm going to say it and be like, yeah, I thought that too.
No, I have it written down on a date. I'm curious if we're the same one. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm curious now too.
Go ahead.
Let's see the Patriots schedule does. Week 1 in Cincinnati against Joe Burrow. Just no. I don't like that one. Home debut against the Seahawks. No. At the Jets. No. It's an Aaron Rodgers show. It's the Jets. I don't want to lose. Just not yet. Week 4 in San Francisco. No, thank you. And now we have a nice little home run. Not home run baseball. A little home run.
What's under?
Home against the Dolphins. Home against CJ, which I think is a nice measuring stick for you. Then we're in London against the Prince, and now you already saw the Jets. You get to play the Jets at home. We'll take that one, then we're off and running because our bye is too late.
Gosh darn it, Wild.
Yeah, that's what happened. Surprise, surprise. We have the same one.
Right. So home versus Miami.
Okay, that's what I have.
Yeah, that's the right. If he doesn't start week 1, I think that's the. Here's why it's an interesting decision.
You don't want to play the 49ers.
No, correct.
Yeah.
So because the Jets game's on a Thursday. So it's like,
short week. That's
right. So you're not going to do that. And then there's you could have a mini bye before he starts, but then your first game's the Niners.
Yeah.
You don't want that. So here's the point I'm making. If he doesn't start week 1, I think the earliest he can start is week 5.
Yep.
Does that that's, and I wasn't cheating off your paper.
And I would also probably say, I don't start him in London.
No.
Just too weird.
And so
you have to start then.
So I think the point that I was making, if they don't start him, I honestly think it will be less about Jacoby and more about the offensive line. And that just for a moment here, this is why building a football team is so interesting.